What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be learning about Lithuania. Yeah, admittedly, honestly, I know next to nothing about Lithuania, but I love learning about new cultures and new places of the world that I really just can't travel to. Unfortunately, due to COVID and, well, lack of funds, this is kind of how I travel the world right now. And I gotta say, it's been a blast doing these geography reactions and just learning about all these beautiful and cultural rich places all over the world. In today's episode, it will be Lithuania. Obviously, once again, I'm using the best there is. It's Geography Now. I cannot recommend this channel enough. If you have not subscribed to them already, you really should do it if you want to learn some more stuff about some great countries. Geography Now is the only website I use for geography reactions just because I honestly just love how they put together content. Anyways, this is Lithuania. If you guys are new around here, please consider liking and subscribing. If you want me to do your country next, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll see what I can do for you. But here we go. Geography Now, Lithuania. Let's do this thing.
All right, everybody, we're finishing up the Baltics with our last Baltic country. If you didn't watch the Latvia episode, it basically goes like this.
I did not watch that episode. Maybe I need to.
Don't play with us, Estonia.
Welcome to the creepier Baltic sister, Lithuania.
Creepy, huh?
It's
all right.
time to learn geography.
Now! Everybody, I'm your host, Barbs. Okay, once again, I know some of you guys are kind of like, come on, Barbs, stop calling the two countries creepy. But my response to that would be, it's kind of true, and it's not necessarily a bad thing if used in a charming way. Some people like creepy. I mean, just
I like creepy.
off of it. I mean, like Latvia made that prison hotel, Turkmenistan did that thing with the burning hole, Belize made
That hole's
bank
cool.
off of whale vomit.
What?
Who knew that stuff would be so expensive off the market anyway, huh?
Who the hell is eating whale vomit? Belize, they said? That devil's hole thing, it's been burning for like 50 or 60 years or whatever, is pretty badass.
Ting.
Okay, we need to get
I
back to
would not eat whale
Let's
vomit.
find out where it is now, shall we? Now, Lithuania may be the largest Baltic country in size, but it kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to coastline. First of all, the country is located in the area of Europe known as the Baltic, which, no shocker, borders the Baltic Sea to the north. The nation
Of course.
is divided into 10 counties, with the capital Vilnius located in the south. They are also surrounded by 4 countries. Remember, this little chopped-up exclave Kaliningrad belongs to Russia, in which they share this long, famous stretch of land known as the Curonian Spit, a 98-kilometer-long sandy barricade with dunes, about 54 kilometers of which belong to Lithuania, and it all effectively cuts off the entire Curonian Lagoon, except for this small opening at the port of Klaipėda. This is literally where almost all seabound shipping comes into Lithuania. I mean, come on, nobody's gonna deliver cargo at that dinky little dock at Palanga. So essentially, Russia has the bigger portion of the lagoon, but Lithuania has the only way out. We have opening at Vistula Lagoon on Strait of Baltisk. It has funny looking star fortress thing to welcome you. Oh, Russia, I can't wait to do your episode. The largest cities after Vilnius are Kaunas, and the city we just talked about, Klaipėda. And surprisingly, for such a small country, they actually have 4 international airports. The busiest in order being Vilnius, Kaunas, Palanga, and Šiauliai internationals. Now here's the thing. Lithuania is proud to claim that they, debatedly, have the geographical center of Europe. Like, they literally even built a monument and sculpture park next to showcase it.
Nope.
Wrong.
Nope.
No.
Really? Hungary? Even you?
Yup. No.
I mean, the Guinness Book of World Records recognizes my village.
No.
Make of it what you will. The country doesn't really have any territorial anomalies or disputes except for kind of a maritime dispute with Latvia up north, something about oil reserves. Then there's that weird salient that juts into Belarus. I think we already talked about that in the Belarus episode, did we? And let's not even get started on how Lithuania was like, I'm just gonna take this Dieveniškių Istorinis National Park from you guys, even if it does give me like a 1-mile wide corridor to reach it. Huh, yeah, we did. Huh, well, cool. I guess I don't have to discuss it. Minimal effort! Funny enough, there's a micronation in Lithuania, the Republic of Utspis, which is actually just another one of those bohemic, hippie-ish neighborhoods in the capital of Vilnius. They kind of want it to be edgy and cool, much like Freetown Christiana that we studied.
Utspis seems badass. You guys ever been there? This bohemian micronation? I really like the art and everything.
National park from you guys, even if it does give me like a 1
Everything's so colorful and bright and vivid.
Yeah, we did. Huh. Well, cool. I guess I don't have to discuss it. Minimal effort! Funny enough, there's a micronation in Lithuania, the Republic of Utspis, which is actually just another one of those bohemic, hippie-ish neighborhoods.
Pronounce it so wrong. I'm pronouncing it wrong then. But yeah, man, I dig the style here. It's quite vivid. Yeah, man, this place looks awesome.
They kind of want it to be edgy and cool, much like Freetown Christiana that we studied in the Denmark episode.
Self-proclaimed but unrecognized autonomy is like So dope.
Lithuania does kind of have a dark past. I mean, they did play
Yeah.
a huge role in the Holocaust during World War II. They had one of the most significant Jewish populations in Europe, once nicknamed the Jerusalem of the North. Nearly the entire population of about 250,000 was killed by Nazis with a huge massacre at Ponary. Many were sent to the HKP 562 forced labor camp in Vilnius. Today, various memorials and museums and exhibitions can be found to commemorate the incident. Also, due to the high emigration rate after joining the EU, many towns started to see houses and buildings and properties left unattended and decaying, like the Ignalia nuclear power plant.
That's not good. Yeah, man, that's pretty much all I knew about Lithuania was, you know, obviously the atrocities of World War II and everything about that. I'm not going to go into that. But that was pretty much all I knew was, you know, some really, really sad stories. He's saying it's creepy. And I guess I can kind of see some aspects of creepiness. They got to do something about that nuclear power plant. You can't leave those things unattended. This is one of those monuments
to commemorate the incident. Also, due to the high emigration rate after joining the EU, many towns started to see houses and buildings and properties left unattended.
That's sad, man.
The Ignalia nuclear power plant.
Yeah, what's up with this power plant? Did anybody fix that? Or is there, like, that thing's not gonna like melt down or anything, right? I hope you Lithuanians are on that.
Palace of Sports and Concerts, the Trade
cool.
Unions building.
What is that? Okay, it's just a paint on the outside of it. Yeah, man, I dig a lot of like your art style. Everything is like so like there's like random vividness.
Plokštine nuclear launch site. Yeah, nuclear launch site. So yeah, that kind of sets
Damn.
the mood, right? Oh, and they also have a Devil's Museum.
A devil's museum? What? All right, yeah, that looks creepy. Not gonna lie though, I wouldn't mind going to the Devil's Museum and just kind of figuring out what's in there. Jeez, man. Just looks so satanic.
KGB experience in a former Soviet bunker where you can
A KGB experience in a former USSR bunker. People pay for this. Okay, they want to pay for that experience? Why?
to pretend to be a prisoner, getting yelled at and interrogated, complete with guard dogs and everything. Charming! Speaking
Oh
of
my
which,
God.
some places of interest might include...
I mean, I guess if you want to like really kind of like experience a piece of history and really get the feel for it, I could see it, but I can't imagine like going out there and visiting and be like, I want to experience that. That's something I got to do. I might skip that part of the tourist attraction.
And keep in mind, I will not really pronounce these Baltic words because they're so hard. These castles, this monastery, the Liberty Boulevard, the
Whoa.
Hill of Three Crosses, the Monument of the Victims of...
What is that? Dude, you guys got some cool ass art out there. Yeah, man, I really dig it. Some really cool architecture as well.
Keep in mind, I will not really pronounce these Baltic words because they're so hard. These castles,
Beautiful.
this monastery,
Cool.
the Liberty Boulevard,
I really like that. That's gorgeous, man.
the Hill of Three Crosses, the Monument of the Victims of Fascism,
That is insane. The Monument of the Victims of Fascism. I really like this art style. I mean, it's kind of hard to get perspective as to how large this is, but it looks massive. Let me look closer. Okay, I think it's made out of wood. Yeah, it's made out of wood, but it almost looks like it's like carved out of rock, I believe. Or maybe it's carved out of rock and it just looks like it's made out of wood. I don't know. I guess I'm not quite sure on this one yet, but that is wild, whatever this thing is. Monument of Victims of Fascism. You guys ever been to that thing? If you've been to this thing, let me know in the comments. Let me know how massive it is.
the funicular railway of this place, the Museum for the Blind, the
What? Museum for the Blind? Is that just like a bunch of braille? Oh, you got a cat museum too. Look at the windows. What crazy cat lady is running this place?
Museum, the Museum of Illusions, the Frank
Oh,
Zappa
cool.
Memorial, the Pan House, the Orvidas Garden.
Whoa. Okay, I'm starting to see some of the creepy stuff, guys. I'm starting to kind of agree with Barbie here a bit. That is a creepy looking forest. Or garden, I guess I can call it.
Finally, the two most iconic cultural landmarks that might really give you a
The
feel
hell
of
is
what
that?
Lithuania is all about. The Hill of Crosses, which
The Hill of Crosses? Look how many crosses are on that hill. What? It's like Christianity just exploded on that hill. Okay, yeah, that's a little creepy. Museum of Illusions. I'd go to that.
Illusions, the Frank Zappa Memorial, the Pan House, the Orvydas Garden, and finally the two most iconic cultural landmarks that might really give you a feel of what Lithuania is all about. The Hill of Crosses, which has over 100,000 crosses.
100,000?
No one knows why it got started that way. And even though the Vatican says it's a holy place full of power, the locals think it's kind of creepy.
The locals even think it's creepy. So yeah, it's a hill. It's got 100,000 crosses, and nobody knows why. Can you imagine just like living next to that? I mean, I don't know if I'd want to even live next to a church. And I got nothing against religion or anything, but like, just like, I don't know. But 100,000 crosses on a hill, like that just seems like it's a bit much. Nobody knows why it got started either. That's hilarious. It's funny that like they said like I don't know, the Vatican says it has some sort of religious experience or implications, but the locals are like, I don't know, man. People just kept throwing crosses out there. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like those chain link fences. You go by and you put like a locket on there, like a padlock or something, and it's supposed to signify like love in some way or another. That's what that kind of reminds me of. What is the next thing? I'm taking this one back here a little bit. I don't want to miss anything.
What Lithuania is all about, the Hill of Crosses, which has over 100,000 crosses. And
So people just put them out there.
Started that way. And even though the Vatican says it's a holy place full of power, the locals think it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
The Hill of Witches, a sculpture park with sinister-looking carved wood images depicting characters from ancient Lithuanian folklore from back in the pagan days. So yeah,
All right, yeah. There's some creep aspects of it, but honestly, like it is tickling my curiosity here. I would not mind going to the witch forest there. It's honestly it's some pretty cool art. Yes, it's a little creepy, it's a little creepy, a little bit weird, but honestly, that's kind of history, and that's kind of like about absorbing the kind of the culture. And apparently, paganism had something to do with these guys, or maybe they were, they had a lot of pagan influence back in the day, or whatever the case may be. Regardless, it's cool art, and I would enjoy experiencing that. I think it looks pretty neat. Creepy, yes, but definitely neat.
It's kind of like a weird pagan-y, Catholic-y, forest-loving, technology-advancing, but kind of reserved and overcast country. So much to cover. Let's
You
start
guys are...
with
All right.
Well,
Lithuania is a
here we are
mixed
again for the
bag.
third time explaining basically the same thing that we discussed in the Latvia and Estonia episodes. I know you're going to be tempted to skip through this section, so to keep you watching, here's Keith on bass.
Sick bass solo.
Lithuania, or Lietuva, gets its name from Lietus va, which means rain here, symbolizing the abundance of rain and fertile land. First of all, the country is made up of 4 general parts: the flat coast, the slightly higher uplands, the middle lowlands, and the Baltic highlands. Here you can find the tallest point, Aukštojas, at only about 293 meters in elevation, making Lithuania the flattest of the Baltic states. Amidst everything, at over a third of the country, you will find, just like the other Baltic states, a plethora of boggy marshland and swamps, as well as forests, the longest river being the Neman, which starts in Belarus, flowing through Konus, blocking into the Konus Reservoir. However, the largest lake would be Lake Drukshai, shared partially with Belarus. Wait, did I mention that in the Belarus episode? Also, you have an island split between Belarus and Lithuania in Lake Ryčių, and 2 islands and 2 peninsulas in Lake Drukšie or Drisvati. Dang, I did a good job in the Belarus episode. I'm making my job so much easier for me. Oh, and the national animal is a stork. Lithuania also has the highest nesting density for storks in the world. They believe it's good luck if a stork nests near your house. They even have a holiday dedicated to them on March 25th. So anyway, resources. One thing that Lithuania is famous for is amber. The Baltic coast has the largest known natural amber deposits in the world, and Lithuania was pretty much...
Oh man, I love like the look of like amber jewelry and stuff. Just reminds me of like Jurassic Park. I bet you guys have a bunch of that kind of stuff out there. You guys got a lot of amber? I kind of want some of that amber.
They even have a holiday dedicated to them on March 25th. So anyway, resources. One thing that Lithuania is famous for is amber. The Baltic coast has the largest known natural amber deposits in the world, and Lithuania was pretty much the place where it all started, in the town of Juodkrantė.
That's badass, honestly.
Otherwise, much of the land is arable, over a third is cultivated. Some national dishes of Lithuania might include things like cold beet soup.
Cold beet soup. What is that? An egg? So it's like a fried egg and cold beet soup. So it's like a beet gazpacho with egg. I mean, even hot beet soup, I wouldn't be down with. I mean, beet's pretty good, but like, I don't know. I want to eat a beet as in the texture form. I don't want it pureed. Looks like there is some texture in there. Like there's chunks of beet in there. So though, yeah, I'd eat that.
Stuffed cabbage rolls.
Stuffed cabbage rolls. Okay, you can get that kind of stuff everywhere for the most part. It must be like pork or something in there.
Kastinis dairy.
What the hell is that? It's like some kind of like curdled cheese or something. Or it looks like it's like congealed feta. Honestly, it looks like ice cream.
thing. Anthill cake.
What the heck is anthill cake? You got a tree cake as well. You guys got some interesting cakes.
Cake. Poppy seed rolls.
Poppy seed rolls. Okay, so it's like a bagel, but in cake form.
Blood soup.
Blood soup? What the hell was that? You ever had blood soup? All right, so this is some kind of confusing cheese. I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. I'd eat that cheese.
Putas cheese. Para todos los que hablan español, sí, sí, lo escuché también. Cálmate a todos. And probably the most iconic dish, potato dumplings.
Ooh.
Whew, got through that section. Now,
That looks
let's meet
good.
the Lithuanians, shall we?
Yeah, what kind of people you got out there?
Nah, Lithuanians are fine and dandy like cotton candy. Remember that Lithuanian geography Giedra that I met in Tokyo? She was cool. Hey, Giedra, I literally tried to hit you up for this episode to get some information, but I couldn't find your email. I don't know if you're watching this right now. Let me know what you think. Was it accurate? So anyway, the country has about 2.8 million people and is the largest economy in the Baltics with the highest GDP as well. The majority of the country, at around 88%, identify as ethnically Lithuanian. About 6% are Poles, 5% Russian, and the rest are other groups, mostly Slavs like Ukrainians and Belarusians, with a few other minority groups mixed in as well. They use the euro as their currency, the Type-C plug outlet, and they drive on the right side of the road. Now, if you really want to get a feel of everything Baltic, Lithuania is kind of like the epicenter. The Baltics were like the last places in Europe to convert to Christianity, and to this day, like Latvia and Estonia, ancient pagan traditions and folklore still live on through
No
festivals,
way!
artwork, and traditions. In a nutshell, though, Lithuania was more Catholic influenced and Latvia was more Protestant influenced. Lithuania joined Poland in a Commonwealth and became at one point the largest country in Europe, while Latvia was taken over by the Germans and Prussians and whatnot. First of all, the language. As mentioned before, Latvian and Lithuanian are the only two surviving Baltic languages left in the world. Their older brother, Old Prussian, died out in the 1800s. And these two languages are ancient, like older than Greek. Half the words and names end in S, and like half of everything ends in like onus or ites. Lithuanian is disputably the oldest Indo-European language still in use. Some say it even still retains words that related to ancient Sanskrit originated in India. Yeah, India. For example, Agnis versus Umnis, Vayus versus Veyas, Devas, Dievas, and the list goes on and on. It's pretty strange how close the coincidence is when you look into it. Oh, and to say thank you in Lithuanian, all you have to do is sneeze. Like literally, the word for thank you is achu.
Ah,
If you
really?
know anything about the Baltic,
That's
this
cool.
region has the highest ratio of two things: blonde-haired, blue-eyed people and women to men. The numbers usually switch off every so often, but Lithuania usually ranks second or third between Latvia and Estonia when it
Dude, all right. All my single bros, go out to Lithuania. The numbers are in your favor. I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's like an altitude thing or something in the water. That's kind of cool. Good odds, I guess.
to male and female ratios, ranging between 0.88 males for every female. This is
Okay, so it's not like a crazy, it's not like, like 3-1 or anything like that, but still, the odds are forever in your favor.
Numbers usually switch off every so often, but Lithuania usually ranks second or third between Latvia and Estonia when it comes to male and female ratios, ranging between 0.88 males for every female. This is partially due to a number of factors, such as large portions of the male population being killed off during war times, mortality rates caused by things like smoking or alcoholism, and suicide. Here at Geography Now, we don't gloss over the controversy, but try to report it as objectively as possible, and unfortunately, Lithuania often ranks in the top 3 suicide per capita nations in the world, many times first. In a weird way, though, this dark fact has kind of put a sort of weirdly romanticized image on Lithuania and Lithuanians to the point where the people just kind of shrug and own up to it. I mean, this dude invented a euthanasia roller coaster concept designed to kill the passengers, and Lithuania was selected to be the childhood home of fictional character Hannibal Lecter. Add some pagan statues juxtaposed to thousands of overly ornate crosses in a swampy land, and bam, you have the perfect setting for... No, but seriously, Lithuania is not all jump scares. It's more of like a legendary place where ancient customs still live on with a valiant populace that became the first to break away from the Soviet Empire. And they love basketball. Speaking of which, history time.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. I mean, not really cool, but I mean, I get it. I get why I keep saying it's creepy. And I mean, it's sad, obviously, that, Lithuania has they're in the top 3 of places like people commit suicide. It's kind of sad learning about why there's a little bit more women than there are guys. I mean, the drinking and all that stuff. Yeah, men can be a little careless sometimes when it comes to that, but so can women. And then the war, obviously, and then suicide. It's sad, but I guess they embrace it. They're just kind of like whatever. The euthanasia roller coaster. That's I don't know. Maybe. I feel like if you're going to go out and you're going to die anyway, maybe the best way to do it is on a roller coaster. I don't know. It's just creepy to even think about that. Like, you're like, all right, like, you know, you're going to die in the next like day. All right. You know, no matter what happens, the next 24 hours, you're going to die. Do you want to just be taken off life support, or do you want to just strap into that roller coaster and just like, it literally had so many loops on it, but it didn't look like that, like far off from like a roller coaster here in America. Like, I'm wondering like how close we come to like dying from roller coasters now. I didn't even know that was possible. Maybe it's a speed thing or something. Yeah, it's creepy. It's definitely creepy. It's a little odd and it's a little disturbing, but I mean, hey, you know, it's the culture. And not the culture, but it's the history of it, I guess.
Quickest way I can put it, pagan tribes, this guy unites them all and becomes king, like literally the only king in all their history. Wars with the Teutonic Order, the 1400s, it becomes the biggest country in Europe with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. They briefly colonized parts of Africa and the Caribbean. Colonies sold off and lost, divided by Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Book smuggling years to keep their language alive. Quick independence in 1918, but then the Russians came in again. Nazis tried to take a go. Back to the USSR. Bloodiest guerrilla war in European history. Over 30,000 Lithuanian men die. Same revolution with all the other Baltic states. Independence finally in the 90s. Joins the EU and Eurozone. They somehow became the basketball capital of Europe, and it's almost like a religion to them.
What?
And here we are
Really?
today. And speaking of basketball, some famous Lithuanians might include all these basketball players. And this one is probably the most famous. This guy who was supposed to be like the king but died before it could happen. Painter Mikalojus Konstantinas. Director Jonas Mekas. Writer Salomėjas Neris. Virgilius Alekna. Celebrities with partial Lithuanian heritage, but it still kind of counts to Lithuanians, might include Jason Sudeikis.
I love him. Yeah, Jason Sudeikis. He's one of my favorites. I like that guy a lot.
Charles Bronson. John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly too? Are you guys like low-key hilarious over there?
Sean Penn.
Oh, Sean Penn. Oh, nice, dude. This guy's awesome.
Baron Cohen. Bob Dylan. William Shatner.
Oh, wow.
Anthony Kiedis. And before we finish off this segment,
So yeah, you guys got some like, I mean, I know they're partial or whatever, but still, you got some very artistic people over there. And that combined with like, you know, the pagan forest and the architecture and like some of the fun, crazy museums you guys got over there.
last minute factoids. Instead of the Easter Bunny, they have an Easter Grandma. They have
What?
the highest number of hot
You got an Easter grandma. All right. Is it like everybody's grandma, or is there like one grandma that like is like the grandma that gives all the eggs or candy or whatever you guys do?
balloons per capita. They have their own national perfume scent.
You got your own scent. What does that smell like? What is the essence of Lithuania? I want to smell it.
The fastest internet in the world. It's
No
considered
way.
bad luck to whistle inside of a house, otherwise it'll explode and burn down. And
Is that true? If you're from Lithuania and you're watching right now, is that like an urban legend, or is that something like people believe in? If you whistle in a house, it's going to blow up, or is that something anybody has ever once believed in? Sometimes they put like ridiculous stuff like this in here, and I just don't know if I believe it or not. I guess I got to wait for the comments to tell me.
that's about it for now. Lithuania. Let's talk about their friends now.
All right, who you guys friendly with?
Lithuania is the largest of the Baltic states, but often the least publicized. Nonetheless, some countries have managed to make their inner circle. Of course, as a member of the EU, most of their trade and business goes through their neighbors, especially through Germany and Sweden. Iceland was the first country to recognize them after independence. The two get along great. They even have a street named after Iceland. The US, Brazil, and the UK each have the largest expat communities outside of Lithuania, which has only strengthened ties over the years. I just found
nice.
out my hometown Los Angeles has a little Lithuania district. They love Georgians and Ukrainians because they share the same history of being part of the former USSR. They support them in any kind of political movement against Russia. They even send foreign aid. Poland is like the ex-boyfriend that they started out really happy with, but then they fought and broke up. But over time, they moved on and are just friends now. Estonia is like the childhood friend that they got along with really well, but after graduation, they kind of moved on, and Estonia got more and more obsessed with Finland. In the end, though, their best friend, no shocker, would be their little twin sister, Latvia. Even though the years have caused the two to grow up a little differently, they still moved forward, keeping traditions alive, sharing the old mystical Baltic charm. In conclusion, Lithuania is the larger of the last surviving Baltic peoples on the planet, and it's quite amazing how they've held it all together to this day. But seriously, if you don't want to become extinct, start making babies. You too, Bulgaria. Those diaspora emigration rates are quite alarming. Stay tuned. Luxembourg is coming up next.
Man, Lithuania. A lot I definitely did not know. I gotta say, the art is really fascinating to me. I love the pagan forest, the devil museum. I like the funny little museums you have. I also enjoy the architecture. I really, what was it? The Bohemian like micronation inside of Lithuania. I thought that was really cool. It looks like a cool place. I'd love to spend the day. The ember. That's kind of weird. I wonder why you guys have the most ember out there. I wonder what that is. That's kind of crazy. It's beautiful though. All I can think of is Jurassic Park when that like mosquito was stuck in the ember. You know what I'm talking about? Like the tree wax stuff and then like solidified. That's what it kind of looks like. I'm not sure if it's the same stuff, but it looks like it. The jewelry looked awesome. The food, yeah, Lithuanian food. It's not something I've heard of. The food didn't seem too exotic to me. I don't know if there's any Lithuania restaurants in the Boston area, but if there is, I guess I could do a Google search and see if there is. I'd love to check out some of the food. A lot of those, wraps and stuff and the dumplings and stuff that I saw did look pretty delicious, especially that cabbage one, the potato one. But yeah, I could see why some people and why they're kind of emphasizing, it's kind of a creepier place when you take into account, the male to female ratio, and why that's the way that it is. And then also just some of like the creepier art forms. But honestly, I dig that kind of stuff. So Lithuania to me seems like a place that I would honestly really enjoy visiting. It seems like you guys got some really nice, like, forest and like, I don't know, just kind of like has like that kind of feel to it and like that kind of like wide open, openness to it. It doesn't seem like it's super, it doesn't seem like it's like a massive like place with cities everywhere. It doesn't seem like a, like that. It seems like pretty nice and wide open and, yeah, it's something I can get down with. The art I definitely can get down with. Food looks pretty good. But yeah, really just kind of seeing the Hill of 1,000 Crosses. I would love to see that. The Monument of Fascism, whatever that was. I can't tell if that was a rock or if that was wood, but that was still really, really cool. You guys got some interesting ways of doing art out there that I haven't really seen from, even other countries kind of in that area. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I feel like I learned a lot today, and after watching this video now, I can't wait to hopefully visit Lithuania someday. If you guys are from Lithuania and you want to send me something, I do have my P.O. box listed down below. Send me some food, some drinks, some whatever you got, and I'll open it up on stream, and we can kind of learn and laugh and enjoy it together. But this was fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I know I enjoyed myself, and I actually learned something today. You guys have yourself a fantastic night, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody. That was good.